Hello everyone. We are going to be doing a long walk today. 15th Avenue complete. We're on Shore Parkway now, and we are now just getting onto 15th Avenue. We will be going all the way down to Borough Park, ending the walk at Dahill Road. I think that's over the last street before we run into Dahill is going to be 38th Street. So just to give you an idea how long this walk is going to be. Definitely a 3-mile walk. And we will be walking. We're right now, I guess you can consider us in Dyker Heights / Bath Beach. We are on the borderline. 15th Avenue is the borderline. At this point, Bath Beach and Dyker Heights. And then once we get past 86th Street, that'll be Dyker Heights / Bensonhurst. And eventually we will get into Borough Park. We are crossing Independence Avenue. This is a stop sign that cars don't like to stop at. You can see Dyker Beach Park out there. If you saw my drone footage that I shot of the fire in New Jersey, that's where I was. I was right over there in the park. I think it's pretty well known I live very close to this route. We are in Stridewarrior Neighborhood Central for a little bit until we get down the next couple of blocks. It is cold today. 27 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll hear me sniffling at times, so sorry, but hey. It is 27 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm doing the math in my head, by the way. I think that's around, it's definitely below 0 Celsius. I think it's like 3. Yeah. 3 below. It is cold. I gotta watch because I can't use gloves when I do this camera work. So I'll be switching hands a lot. You all shouldn't notice it. So we are in the new year. I've been doing some walks in the city. We did 14th Street. We were in Alphabet City on Avenue B. We did Hell's Kitchen. And this is our first commentary walk of 2024. These blocks are long. Before we get to 86th Street, these blocks are long. So we are hitting the first intersection, Cropsey. We hit Independence back there, but that's just like more of a service road in from the Borough Parkway exit. I gotta watch for traffic here. This is remember we did this walk. This was the walk we did, the last walk of the year. Cropsey Avenue. If it looks familiar. It is a Friday morning, so hope all of you have a great weekend. You're seeing this for the first time on Saturday. Got a little bit of a sparrow convention going on here. Sparrows, they're like the little mini raptors. Little miniature velociraptors, if I'm saying the word right. If my speech seems a little slurred, it is not because I was at the local pub. It is that cold. Like, it's hard to move the mouth muscles. I was listening to now everybody's going to go back and watch the footage now because I'm mentioning this, but I was watching the drone footage I shot of the New Jersey fire, which, by the way, is still raging as I'm doing this walk. It's like a 5-alarm fire. So it's very, as I'm recording this, it's very new, this fire. So there's still a lot that nobody knows about the fire, how it started or anything. But anyway, getting back to the drone footage, I was listening to myself, and I'm like, man, my speech sounds slurred. And I was like, yeah, it's how cold it is. So I have to accentuate a lot better. Here we are on Bath Avenue. We'll be trying to stay on the sunny side of the walk for the entire walk. This is a house that just got renovated. Very nice. He just had this house renovated this past year. So a little camera work there. Just give it a look what it looks like. And the dog is saying hello. As we get down through these neighborhoods, we'll see a lot of changes to the many different types of homes all the way through. So this walk should run about an hour, close to an hour or a little over. As we're not even on 86th Street yet. We haven't even passed 86th Street yet, so we haven't even gotten to the number streets. But we're pretty much going, once we get to 86th Street, we'll be going from 86th down to about 38th Street. So this counts as my long walk for the day. So when I don't have the camera running, I do a lot of walking. I guess that's a secret why I look so young at my age. I'm going to be 50 years old in 2 months, and I'm still waiting for my first wrinkle. And my first gray hair or my hair falling out, but I'm still going good. I attribute it all to the walking. I really believe that walking is any kind of activity is very important to staying young, feeling young, looking young, because it just keeps your heart in great shape. keeps the blood flowing. So anyway, this is, I usually do my long hikes for the day later on in the day, but if I do one of these long walks, then I'm done. That's it. I'll be done. Because remember, I gotta walk back. So, which is typical for me. My walks, when I do my hikes are generally between 6 to 10 miles. So for me, that's normal. The other day when I did, so all those New York City walks that you guys and girls just watched, the 3 walks, that was all in one day. And I think that came out to like 8 miles of walking, because it wasn't just the walks, but you know, going to other places in between, stopping to grab something to eat, going to the park. So here we go, 15th Avenue and 86th Street. A couple of things I'll talk about here. Actually, 1, 2, 3. So we got 3 things. Let's start over there. We'll kind of slow the walk down so I can talk about this. Right here on my side, right on my left here, used to be meat fair and then ravioli fair. You know, a lot of people forget about the meat fair one. So when Steve, and that was his name, Steve, we were in the store, he was the owner of Ravioli Fair. Ravioli Fair, and I'll show you in a second when we get onto 86th Street, was over by Bay 10th Street to my right. And then he opened up this location here, which was called Meat Fair. But then eventually he renamed this back to Ravioli Fair and closed the original Ravioli Fair store off. And Ravioli Fair was down there where there's like a smoke shop over there. Right over there where the across the street there, the laundromat, that used to be Pipitoon Pharmacy. That was Pipitoon Pharmacy. There's even some other things, like right here you had Meat Fair, Ravioli Fair, but then right next door used to be a pizza place. And then there was the Mona Lisa, which was there for many years. And then right in front of me, that we're gonna walk by, is the old Mar Lumber site, which to this day is still the same building. This has not changed. I remember coming here as a teenager for wood, like plywood and 2x4s. We used to build ramps. I was a skateboarder, so we used to come here and get a lot of our wood. And this building right here is the same building. The only thing that they did, obviously, was they had to renovate the inside and turn it into a restaurant. But the building is still the same. That whole awning that you see, like this whole awning that says Outback, that wasn't there. It was just the brick wall, and it had the Mar Lumber sign on there. And you'd walk in here, and as soon as you'd walk in, it was just right up to the ceiling, just cages with all different types of wood. It was, just think of a lumber yard with the big garage, and you got the lifters and all that stuff. And Outback has been here since I got out of the Navy, 2001. They opened up right around the time I got home out of the military, 2001. I think it was like the summer of 2001 they opened up. You can see the houses on 15th Avenue are pretty much all private family homes, condo style, sometimes bungalow, a lot of attached homes. This is a very, very safe area to live in. I've been living in the area since the 80s, so I know from my perspective, it's a very safe neighborhood. Looks like we got some construction work going on.
Everything on the truck with him.
Get this person in front of me, looks like they're walking a wolf. That does not look like it's a husky, but it looks more like a wolf. Well, just going up the block now. I was hoping maybe I get a better look. Well, we're coming up on it. Here's another doggy. This dog right here is big. At the school across the street. And that is PS 204. We'll start moving the camera around a bit as we get over here. That is a big dog. So that's the type of dog you don't feed dog food, you just feed it animals. Just go out and, I don't know, figure it out. I mean, for a dog to get that big, got to be eating something. We're going to move over across the street. I want to show. We've been down here in the past, but we've not during like a full 15th Avenue walk, but we'll walk by some of the good old-fashioned Italian delis, eateries, and meat store over here. So that puts me in the shade. Feels like the temperature just dropped like 5 degrees, like as soon as I got into the shade. Coming up on 79th Street. And we are, by the way, we are now in the Dyker Heights / Bensonhurst section. This is the borderline. So take your pick on what neighborhood you want to be in. So I'm going to show you some of these places, and I really encourage people, if you're ever in the area, come here and have some food because these places are good. So the first place you're looking at here is Papa Pasquale's. They have amazing sandwiches. Absolutely amazing sandwiches. And I'll just throw the menu up on the screen and you guys could pause it and read through all this. I'm not going to stand here for 5 minutes because I'm freezing. Okay, that's Papa Pasquale. And then over here they have Lioni, and his heroes are amazing. So I'm not going to compete here. I'm not going to tell you to one's better than the other because that would be wrong to even compare. I mean, these guys are great, both of these places. And then you have Romeo Meats. Yes, if you're looking for a hero, if you're into sandwiches, either one of those places, I suggest you do like what I do. You go to both of them and you alternate. Go to one week, go to the other week, keep going back and forth. When I was a teenager, I used to go to Papa Pasquale's, and I was a skateboarder. I was like the skateboarder in the neighborhood, and I would have to go to all the competitions. I had been sponsored by a couple of places, and they had to send me to all these places to go skateboard in front of people. That's how you did it back in the 90s. It was like, yeah, go here, go there. Wear our shirt. Put your trucks on our board. Here's our wheels, blah, blah, blah. But so I would go to Papa Pasquale in the, not early in the morning, but when it first opened, and get the sandwich and just pack it away. And when everybody was skating, and this was at the Brooklyn Banks, underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. We used to call it the Brooklyn Banks. Everybody would bust out their lunch to eat. Some people would just go get something from McDonald's. Or some people had like a bag of chips, that was it, and a bag of chips and a bottle of juice. And I'd be sitting there eating this big hero. and people would be like, what is that? And I was always known as the guy that eat like big sandwiches down there. All right, we are on the Bay Ridge Parkway, 75th Street. We got a church coming up. Light's about to turn green. It wasn't that bad. This has been around a long time. Established in 1947. Well, that's true because it's been around since, as far as I remember, when I was a little kid, I used to walk by here. '74th Street. That's good. She saw me, and I wasn't gonna walk through the street, but she saw me coming up on the sidewalk. That's why she was beeping. She thought I was gonna walk right through the intersection. Got Outflation. This is another place that's been around for a long time. And this is Our Lady of Guadalupe. Guadalupe. Some people say Guadalupe. Some people say Guadalupe. But whatever you say, it is a church here on 15th Avenue and 73rd Street. Very beautiful church. At night, all these trees are lit up pretty nice, so. And I will stop here for a second and get a good look in here. There you go. I want to give everybody a nice look before we continue on. This will make the walk longer than an hour if I keep stopping. But if I see something that I believe people will be interested in looking at, I will stop. Now this school right here, this public school, which I don't even know what public school it is. It is always under renovation and construction. It's ridiculous. This is like the last 20 years. They just pulled the scaffolding down just a couple of years ago and then went back up and now they're doing it again. All the time. It's like a never-ending renovation. Just keeps going. I'm sure somebody that lives in this neighborhood, if they watch this video, they will comment on what I just said, because it's always, this school is always something construction-wise is always going on here. This used to be the schoolyard right here, and then they built those buildings out, like annexes. That was all schoolyard at one time. And this block right here, my sister lived on this block when she was younger, before they moved to Staten Island. That block is where I lived. I lived with my sister for probably about 3 months when I got out of the military until I found somewhere. I don't think 3 months is long enough to say that I lived in this neighborhood. All right, let's see if this guy stops. Yep, he did. All right. You know, sometimes you see cars coming up the streets here in New York. You have to make sure that they're going to stop at the stop sign. Or else you get rolled. We are about to cross New Utrecht Avenue. Got the car wash right over here on Ovington Avenue. One day we got to do an Ovington Avenue walk. It is a very strange street that just runs. It's just weird. I can't even talk about it right now because it would just confuse you since we're not on it. But it's just it's an odd street. It doesn't run completely through Brooklyn. It only runs for a certain distance. It takes the place of one of the street numbers. I think it's like down here would be like 68th Street. Got the train that just passed over. U-Haul. Got a lot of trains passing over. Speaking of trains, if you're local to New York, you know last night we had a train collision, a very rare train collision over at 96th Street in the city last night during rush hour. I'm gonna get across the street here in a second and then I'll talk about it. Nobody was killed. And it was mostly minor injuries. It was, you know. If this looks familiar, we did one of our thunderstorm walks down here last summer. So yeah, last night there was, so what happened was, here's the story, right? So you had a train that was coming out of 96th Street, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't even fully out of the station yet. It was just coming up to speed. I don't know what's up with all this trash. This is ridiculous right here. Like, you normally don't see stuff like this over here, but I don't know. You got a lot of dirt bags that live over here. Dirt bags that either live over here or just come through this area. I'll keep my opinions to myself because, you know, the YouTube algorithm the YouTube algorithm has a way of getting offended, if you know what I mean. So anyway, getting back to what I want to get back to was talking about the train derailment. So there was a train that I guess a bunch of dirtbags decided they were gonna, either one or a bunch, decided they were gonna pull multiple emergency brakes on one of these trains, right? So one of the trains got stuck around the cross where the tracks, where there's like a cross track where they kind of, switch on to another track as you're coming into 96th Street. So that one train was stalled in the tunnel just outside the station. So they had to send the train workers throughout the train to reset all these emergency brakes. It wasn't just one emergency brake that was pulled. Somebody went through the train and pulled multiple emergency brakes. So that train is stuck like, I guess, just outside the station or down the track outside the station. And what I'm telling you is based on what they had said as of last night. And that's just the gate squeaking at me. Right? So then there's another train that is leaving 96th Street. And at some point what happened was, as the train was leaving 96th Street, the train that was stuck originally, they don't know why yet. I mean, obviously we know somebody did. It was actually somebody that did it. It wasn't, the train didn't move itself, but at some point the train that was originally stuck started to proceed, and it was on the cross track. So as the other train was coming out of the station, they basically tapped. It came to a stop. And, some people about 25 people got hurt, probably got thrown around. If you know a New York City train, even if a train is going at only like 5-10 miles an hour and it stops suddenly, you're going to get thrown. So you could imagine, when the trains collided the way they did, people probably went flying and got hurt. The train didn't even leave the station. It still was like halfway in the station. So they were able to evacuate everybody through the back part of the train onto the platform. And they have pictures of the trains, both of the trains got derailed. So they're hoping to have rush hour ready to go by this afternoon, that they'll be able to have trains running back on those tracks. We are coming up on 60th Street, and we are officially entering Borough Park. So we are now in the Borough Park section. playing Frogger. I don't want to win a Darwin Award today. So I have a little bit of interesting development going on right now. So I generally never take my battery pack with me when I'm only going to do one walk, because the camera usually is pretty good with the battery power for just one walk. But what I'm noticing right now is that the cold weather is really draining this battery, so it's going to be interesting to see if we finish this walk at Dahill Road. Just wanted to give everybody a heads up there. I guess if you're watching this, I'll put a little flashing note saying, yeah, we made it or we didn't make it. We should make it though. We are coming up to 58th Street, so we still got 20 blocks, about another mile to go. As we like to say in New York City, a New York mile is 20 blocks. And we're at 42 minutes, so that makes sense, yeah. Figure another 15 minutes of walking. We'll definitely make this walk. And what I'm going to do is, when the camera is not rolling later on, I'm going to walk back along 13th Avenue. My stomach is feeling like it could use some food, so I'll probably stop at Crispy Pizza in Bay Ridge, Dyker Heights. I should say Bay Ridge, Dyker Heights, on the way home. It's Friday. It's going to be crowded. Crispy Pizza on 13th Avenue on Fridays is always packed at around 12 o'clock. So. Got a bike delivery guy here. I apologize if I am not doing my normal pan in. Normally I'll stop and look at buildings or whatever. It's just it's cold and it's just hard to move the camera around. I got this very big poofy jacket. And we're walking pretty fast too. We're doing a pretty good clip on this walk. This is one of my faster walks. That delivery guy's coming up behind me. It's a different delivery guy. The buildings are a bit taller down here. Got a lot of these high-rise apartment buildings, so that's why there's a lot of shade on the street here. What I'm going to do is just cross over. For a little bit, we'll stay on this side. See some more of those taller apartment / condo type of buildings. We are in Borough Park. This is a predominantly Hasidic Jewish community. Quiet, very quiet community. Not a lot happens down here. That's the way I like it. I like it quiet. I'm not really big on noise and disturbances and such. We're starting to move the camera a little bit now. Trying to make up for the last 30 minutes. Got this car coming at me. Oh, I got the light. There you go. I think we're gonna make it with the battery. I think we should make it. I'm speaking from the point of view that I am still recording. I know obviously you already know at this point if this is a complete walk to Dahill Road, but I don't at this point. This is the coldest that this camera's been in since I purchased it last year. This is actually the coldest day we've had in probably 2 years. No joke. That is not a lie. Another thing about the winters we've been having the last couple of years. Let me get past this. The generator. I wonder if they lost power. Oh no, they have a construction site here, that's why. Never mind. That's a construction site, that's why the generator. I was saying the winters here, we haven't gotten any snow for over 700 days. 700 days, that's more, that's well, that's not 2 years. Almost 2 years. And the thing is, this weekend we are supposed to get a storm coming here, but now they're saying as of this morning they changed it to the fact that down here where I live, we're not going to get any snow, supposedly. We may get like a coating of snow. Maybe about an inch or less. Originally they thought we were going to get 6 inches. And then they went down to 3 inches, and now it's down to a coating. And by the night, it'll probably be, we're not getting any snow. So the snow drought will continue, I guess. I had to stop. There was a lot of people coming out. And you had that person just cut right in front of me. This is a mess down here. We're in the mess area now. So this is why they should never put MTA buses on side streets. There you go. We're in the spot now. This is the sweet spot in Borough Park where there's just a lot of traffic. There's going to be a lot of traffic for the rest of this walk. So be prepared. If you don't like hearing car horns, you might hear a lot of them. So see, we're starting to hear them now. See, when you live in Brooklyn your whole life and you know all the neighborhoods, you know where everything happens. Like right on cue after I said that, there's car horns everywhere. See? Tell you, this area right here is just, listen to that. New York City is not even this loud, to be honest with you. I've walked in congested parts of New York City, 7th Avenue, 6th Avenue, 5th Avenue, and you won't hear as many car horns as you hear down here. You know, when we've walked through Borough Park before, I always joke and say, you know, Borough Park's known for its school buses because there's so many school buses, but I guess you could say it's also known for its horn honking. My battery just flashed. We are down to the last 25%, so we should make it. We should just make it. "52 minutes into the walk." I said we would be walking for about an hour or so, so looks like we are on pace. Oh, I'm gonna get stopped. Not good. Not good. Light hasn't changed, so I'm gonna take it. It was one of those traffic lights that is delayed red for a while and then it goes green. Since I've had this camera, I've never had it run out of battery power. I think what I'm gonna have to do when I get home, if there's still power in this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually just run it, and I wanna see what happens when the camera is recording and it runs out of battery. Because I can tell you, there's a problem sometimes with the GoPros. If you're recording and the battery is dying, what's supposed to happen is it's supposed to beep. But even if it doesn't beep, what it's supposed to do is save your file and then turn the camera off. And I noticed a couple of occasions using the GoPro, that did not happen. And what happens is it corrupts your last file. Here we go. So if you're recording, say that you're recording a video and you recorded for like, 20 minutes and it just goes off, it can ruin that whole video even if it saves it. So I'd like to see if, how this camera handles battery power when it dies. School buses. This is a funny scene right here. I don't know why. This guy is facing me. I don't know why, but I found myself laughing at that, the whole scene. I'm gonna start passing by some local stores. We're almost at the end of the walk. I could see the end of the walk a few blocks down, so. Yo, let me know if I talk too much in this walk because it is cold and I figured talking a lot more than I normally do will keep me warm, and it actually has. kept my mind off of the fact that my hands are almost frostbitten. The smells. I smell bread bacon. Oh, it smells great. I smell bread bacon. I also smell pizza. I swear, it smells like there's pizza somewhere over here. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on right now over here. Another one of these, you got a lot of these delivery bikes, man. You don't want to get hit by one of these things, because that's the equivalent of getting hit by a car, really. Man, are we going to make it? Oof. That's bullshit right there, excuse my language. That's, get on the streets, man.
Alright guys, I'm gonna head back to work.
You will hear me curse every once in a blue moon on these walks if something really annoys me. That annoyed me right there. That guy almost hit me. He should not be on the sidewalk with those things. Oh, here you go. This is great. This is great right here. Look at this, guys. Got some water coming out of the fire hydrant. There you go. A video in Brooklyn would not be complete without a fire hydrant going, even in the wintertime. Alright, we've made it to 40th Street. Very busy down here. Okay, got some construction going on right here. New building going up. Looks like we're gonna make it, but just barely. My battery is now at 8%, so we will make it. Because the end of the walk is right in front of us. And we're just about to hit 1 hour right there. Thirty-ninth Street. I'm gonna just cut traffic, even though it's a red light for me. The light hasn't turned green yet. There we go. So I will say it now. This was a very exhilarating walk. Because of how cold it is. I am the perfect temperature, except for my hands. My hands are really cold, but I'm pretty warm. And I'm walking, there's another thing is I'm walking into the winds, which is pretty stiff. The winds today are blowing between 10 and 15 miles an hour. I didn't talk about what the wind chill was. The wind chill is 17 degrees Fahrenheit. So the air temperature is 27 and the wind chill is 17. And I'm walking into the wind. So walking back is going to be very nice. It is not going to be so bad. We're on 37th Street and we're at the end of the walk. I want to thank everybody for taking this walk. It's our first commentary walk of 2024. And this year we will definitely be balancing the commentary and the non-commentary walk. So for those of you who do not want to hear my voice, don't worry, we will still have just what you like to call ambience or ASMR, where you don't hear me and you just hear the walk. And for those of you that do enjoy commentary, we'll have commentary walks. For those who don't want to hear me talk too much, I'm sorry about today, but hey, I'm cold. You know how like when you meet people that drink and they talk too much when they get drunk? Well, it's kind of like that. I get cold, I'm ready to go. Here it is, Dahill Road, 36th Street. It's the end of 15th Avenue. And it's the end of the walk. I'll give you all a little nice little look around, and then we're going to shut it down. And the battery is now at 5%. We just made it. Dahill Road. All right, everyone, take care. Have a great weekend, and I will catch everyone on the next walk.